Okay, no. I always forget this recording this session. Okay. So first, all of you open your browser, type Dr. Racket, DR Racket, or Racket, RACKET. So once you are you with me? If you want to pause or something, you just let me know. So open your browser, type Racket, RACKET, or Dr. Racket, DRRACKET. And we are taking 7.7 version. Windows version I am showing it. If you want, you have the Linux version also. You can download it accordingly. So go to the tutorial session. And you can find the download Racket. Is somebody doing it? Can I get an acknowledgement?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So once you start downloading, it will just take some 2 minutes.
Ma'am, it is showing 8.2 version. Ma'am.
8.2. Okay, if it supports, fine. I have taken 7.7. So just download that exe. So once that is done, hope it would have downloaded, right? It's not yet. Windows version is also there, Linux version is also there. So based on your machine, you can download the which one you want. So once you download that exe file, give the location. Okay. Hope all of you would have downloaded. This takes very less time.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So for racket, lambda is the symbol. If you have seen the textbook also, the lambda is the symbol which they are using it for this language. So this is the one which you will be, once you open this, I'll just stop here. If someone is still doing it. Okay. So all of you could open this.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Don't simply say yes, ma'am. You're doing it, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because now, last time also many were saying yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. After that, when we asked them to share the screen, ma'am, I'm attending through phone. So this was the response what I was getting it. So okay. So the thing is, so once you open this racket, you will be getting two windows. I mean, like one thing which has been partitioned into two. Right. I'll just share this. Okay, so the thing is, so when you open this one, you will be getting two windows. So not two windows. This entire thing, the entire screen has been split into two partitions, two parts. So the part, the contents, what you're having at the top most, the top part, which is nothing but where you can type your program, all the procedures and all, which you can, which you want to save it for future purpose. You can save. You can type it over here and you can save it. And if you want to just execute any particular expressions, you don't want to save it, then you can, the bottom part, which we call it to be as the execution place. So where each line will be executed, that is, since this is an interpreter, as where when you want it to be each and every expressions, you want to just see how it is executing without saving. If you want to just do it, then you can go ahead with this bottom part also. So this is the place where we call it to be as the execution place. And here all the here also you can type it, and whenever you are running your program, the output will be displayed at the bottom place. Okay, so if you so both the places you can do the executions, but this can be the one which you are typing at the top, which can be saved for the future also. The bottom which will be execute, and you can leave it. So that is the thing. But now, as soon as you have installed it, when you start typing your program, or when you start doing something, it will give you an error message. It will not let you do anything, right? So first thing what you have to do is, you have to go at bottom. Can you see this? At bottom most, you can find determine language from source, right? Click over there. It will give you three things. So select choose language. I'll repeat. At the bottom most, right now, as soon as you have installed it, now you start typing something, it will give you an error message. So what you have to do is, you at the bottom most of the screen, that is left side bottom most, you can find one determine language from source. So if you click over here, you can find one choose language. So if you click here, you will be given three options. So in this, first you select the first one itself, which is the basic one, the racket language if you choose. So by default, you will be getting this hash lang racket. So all the built-in functions for this racket will be taken up. So once you have clicked, okay. Now when you run, you will be getting which version you are using, what is the memory limit for this, all these details you will be getting it.
Now I'm getting something different now.
Yes, Hitesh, can you share your screen?
No, not present.
1 second. I'll make you. Can you just raise your hand? I thought of making everyone presenter, but later thinking like you will be playing.
I'm getting this one now after download.
No, no, no. You have uh, go to that folder and open. No,
Ma'am,
you
if you type in the start
open.
bar, it will come, ma'am. Like the GUI will
It will
come, ma'am.
come. Yeah,
Okay,
you click
this okay.
the first one. Yeah. Shall I make everyone presenter? See, no response. You guys will play. So better not to make. Okay. So we'll continue.
I'm also getting same error as Hitesh.
Just go and select in the start itself, you just go and type bracket. You will be getting the first one. Select the first one. Go to start, type bracket. Shankar.
I mean, start it didn't come the first time. I think you should go to the folder and select.
I mean, no, it's not coming.
Two ways it is there. Either go to folder and do it, or go to start and you can take it.
Okay.
Just raise your hand, Shankar.
I have resume. Okay.
Yeah. Share it.
Is it visible?
Yet to. Hmm. Go to the folder itself.
Yes, ma'am.
That one you click. The first one. Doctor. I think.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Okay, ma'am. I got it.
Okay. Others? Okay, so once you have opened it, so make sure you select the language. Without selecting the language, it will not let you do the execution part. Okay. So first thing, so if you, I'll just show you how it works. This is the bottom place. So if you type any numbers, it will just display the same number because it is an interpreter. Um, uh, um, so some strings if you type, it will not. So whenever you have to type any string, make sure you put a quote in front of it. So that becomes your string or character. If you want to type any numbers or digits, you can type it as such. For strings or characters, put a single quote in front of it. No need of closing brackets. Okay. So this is for declaring, making it to be as whether integer, float, or character or strings. Anyways, in the later part, in the next unit and all, we will be discussing with respect to characters and strings. Okay. Next, no. The main important thing with this language is if you want to type some expression. So whenever we have to type any expressions, everything is a procedure. So when we say it's a procedure, everything should be mentioned within the round brackets, right? So first thing, if you want to add, say you want to add two numbers. So you can open the bracket, type plus or whichever operator you want. The operator will be the one which comes here. Why? Because now you are calling this particular operator. Space, give any number, give the second number, the second operand value. So I have directly given, I want to do 4 plus 5. So whenever we are doing any operation, that particular operator has to be called. So it's a procedure. So first we are putting, whenever there is a procedure call, you should make use of the parenthesis. So brackets. So round brackets is used for calling the procedure. So plus space 4 space 5. So here there is no other operators to be used. That is like comma operator, nothing like that. Everything will be separated by using a space. So if you press enter, sorry. So if you press enter, you will be getting the output. So similarly for minus 4, 5, you will get the value. for multiplication of 4, 5, how many other operands? Instead of 2, if you want 3 or 4, you can mention everything separated by using the space. Press enter, you will get the output. So this is nothing but this is an interpreter. This is how it works. So coming to the division operator. So division 5 by 5. You will get the output 1. If you say 5 divided by 2, you will get 2, 1 by 2. It will be in the fraction way. You will not get it in the floating point value. You will be receiving it as a fraction. Okay. You're all getting it?
Yes, ma'am.
The same thing here also you can type. Say you want to have multiplication of 4, 5, 6, 7 and 9. Close the bracket, press enter, you will not get the output. Instead, you have to make use of this run button. So this run button at the right side, if you click, it will help you show the output. All the outputs will be mentioned. Whatever programs you are typing here, whatever expressions or whatever procedures you are typing the top place, the workspace, the result you will be getting it once you execute it. So the output you can find it here. The bottom window, which is for execution purpose, if you are having any single line to be executed or any function built-in functions to be called or something, so single line execution and all, you can do it in the execution unit, that is the bottom place. Okay. So mainly the main purpose is if you have any single line to be seen or some executed and seen the output, then you can go with the execution unit, which you for later purpose you don't have to save it. The workspace, whatever you are doing in this workspace, when you are doing it, where you can do do the contents or write the procedures like a block structure kind of thing. If you want to make, then all these things you can do it in the workspace, that is at the top place, top partition. And when you have to execute and see, click on the run button, which will help you execute your program. If there is any errors in it or not, accordingly you can see the output at the execution window. Okay. And when you are saving your file, you can save it with the extension .rkt. When you save your file, you can save your file name .rkt. Okay. So first, let us define with the variables. So if you have to define any particular variable, then you have to call the built-in function, which is considered to be as define. So define space any variable name, say x, define it to be as with the value, say 4. So here I'm once again repeating, there is no other operators to be used. You can use space as the separator. So here you have declared a variable x, which has been initialized with the value 4. One more variable if you are defining, define variable y with 8. If you want to do any operation with that, plus say x 7, you want to have another operator, say minus y with the 2. After this, one more operator value, this. So whenever you are doing, make sure that how many brackets you have opened, you have to close it. So here, whatever you are typing, if you have to see the outputs here, execute it, you'll get the output. So define x and define y, you will not get any output because you are just assigning the value 4 to the variable x. Similarly, for variable define y 8 means you are just assigning the value 8 to the variable y. Execution is happening only for the first and the last statement. So that is what is the output which you can see it. Okay. So let us first do one procedure. So if you are defining a procedure, let us the first procedure let us do say adding two numbers. So for procedures also, if you have to define a procedure, the same keyword we will be using, which is define. So the same define statement we will use it for declaring a variable as well as defining a procedure. So this is considered to be as a special operator, special word or keyword. But when you have to define a procedure, what is the difference? The name, whatever you are giving, that should be within the parenthesis. Say I am writing a procedure named sum with two arguments. So sum is the name of the procedure, space A, space B. Close the parenthesis, this parenthesis. So whenever I'm calling this procedure also, I will be calling with respect to this part, the highlighted part. I have to call the name of the procedure, pass the arguments, the value for the arguments. What I'm supposed to do? I'm supposed to add. So I have to use the operator add plus operator. I'm just adding A with B. So now when I run the program, it will give you an error message because I haven't closed the define portion. So this itself will help you trace the debug the contents because whether you have closed the parenthesis or not, all these things it will be helping you. How many brackets you have closed and all. So now when you run the program, you will get nothing. Why? Because here you have just defined the procedure. If you have to execute, call the procedure. So when you're calling the procedure, open the parenthesis, sum, space, as the arguments. So the mistakes, this is a simple logic, but the mistake what usually you guys do is, you will forget putting the parenthesis. So in this language, everything will be done within the parenthesis, that is the round brackets. Till here, is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then you guys can try out finding the area of a circle. I'll just type some distance and give. Yeah. So try completing the simple procedures. So the second one, area of a circle. Pi r square. So there are predefined variables. I can say to be as the primitive variables. So pi, the pi, small letter pi, if you write, which is predefined. So you don't have to use 3.14 or 22/7. You can directly use the term pi, small letter. All these are case sensitives. I think in last class you have been finished with the if statement, right? If
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Sriba, they can also try with finding two largest among three numbers. Yesterday they were trying. So they didn't write a proper code, so let them try that also.
which one, ma'am? Finding
Finding two largest numbers among three numbers. You can
Two
add here
largest.
in the question, so you can make it 6. Finding
Just numbers, ma'am?
two largest, yeah.
Or second largest.
Two biggest. No, not second. First and second. So find the two biggest number or largest number given three numbers. Two biggest numbers.
Sorry, I was muted. Have you did you do this fifth one?
No, ma'am. And fourth one.
Okay.
Sripa, actually in list, is there any way to return two numbers? Actually, this valuations
No, ma'am, it doesn't
expressions will
return
be
any
evaluated and
values.
returning a single value, right?
Yeah, it will return only single
Always.
value.
So now the sixth question you can just change.
That's why I
Find the
was asking.
square of find the square of two biggest numbers. Find the square of two biggest numbers. Given three numbers. Find the sum of squares of find the sum of squares of two biggest numbers. Yeah, now it's
But any errors you are getting for the fourth one? Chandana, are you getting any errors? Chandana? Not there. Sakit? Sakit Chandra? Which one you are doing? I couldn't hear you. 1 second. Yeah, which one you are doing? Rohit Kumar?
Installing, ma'am.
Installing. Which one you are doing, Rohit? Yes, Rohit.
I did the area of circle, ma'am. Now I'm doing the sum of largest of two numbers. Third sum I'm doing.
Dinesh, can you share your screen? Dinesh Chaudhary?
Ma'am, hello.
Yes, Vishnu.
Ma'am, can't we directly give true and false, ma'am, like hash t hash f? Directly can't we give? Uh, like in the
Like,
if condition.
just share your
If,
screen. Can you share
okay,
your
okay.
screen?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, is it visible? Hello.
Yet to come. Yet to come.
Ma'am,
It's visible.
now. Not this one. This is the other one. Yeah. Ma'am, this is divisibility by 7. Like, this is what I wrote.
Divisible by 7, divided by operator, if you use, you will get only the quotient. Divided operator will give only quotient. If you have to get the remainder, here in this language, modulo doesn't work. That's why I'm waiting. Everyone has reached. There are two ways of using this, doing this modulo operator. One is reminder, type reminder, REMAINDER. No, you share the screen.
Ma'am?
You share the screen so that
Okay.
others also can see it.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to explicitly give hash t hash f. By default, it will come. If you want just true or false to be displayed means by default that itself will give you. No, one more bracket needs to be closed. Define as one. Add syntax of reminder. If
Ma'am, actually it is a if statement, no, ma'am. We have to give output also 1 or 0. If it is divided, if remainder is 0, then output is 1, else it is 0.
that was last time I was able to do it.
Oh, it printed both.
Okay, try.
It printed both. Yeah, it should print both. Yeah, it works. If it's divisible, it's printing 1. Else for 8. For 8, it's not divisible, so it's printing 0. Yes,
If you want to print a hash t and hash f, we just need to remove if statement. No? Okay, you need to give only
yes,
bracket
that's the point.
equals.
Yeah, that is correct. You don't have to write within if statement. If you just want hash t and hash f, you don't have to put it inside the if statement. Correct, Abhishek?
Okay, yes.
Yeah. I was thinking last time I did how I did it. So this one point was reminder was for modulo, or modulo itself is there. Instead of reminder, you can even type modulo. Both gives the same result. MODU modulo LO.
Yes, ma'am.
Both works for the modulo operator, but in this language, operator is not doesn't exist. Okay. Thank you.
Can you share your screen? Ma'am? That last
Yes.
question. Ma'am.
Yes. Yes. What happened, Abhishek?
I'm asking you to share your screen. Ma'am. That last question I didn't copy. That's why.
Okay. I thought you were you want to share your screen. So for last question, how do you do it?
Ma'am, I actually did that by doing the ulta logic. Like, if the number is smallest, then ignore that and find the square and sum of the other two.
Okay. Easier one. Otherwise, write a procedure for finding largest, write a procedure for finding second largest, and call those two in the main function. Done.
So for the last question, Sriba, and students as well, you can just look at the concept of abstraction going from the lower level to the higher level. So for addressing this problem, you need some function kind of max, finding max of two numbers, min of two numbers, and then square. So these three functions you have to write, and you can use some logic to find out the answer. And another thing is, if you want to return two numbers, that is also possible with the help of a list. The Lisp language can return a list. List is the built-in data structure that also possible. So that we will see later. So returning two or more values are possible with the help of returning the list itself, where the list contains multiple values.
Okay, students, hope all of you would have done. I'll stop recording. Ma'am.
Yes.